Hello, welcome to another video. It's been probably about a month or so since I last did one. So we're now in October, or more or less the middle of October. I'm recording this just a few days after getting back from a really good weekend over at Play Blackpool, where we had a stand there selling the Addict magazines. So it's really good to obviously speak to quite a few readers, get a bit of feedback on some things they like, ideas for stuff to add to the magazine as well, and obviously sell some magazines and merchandise. Obviously got to see a load of friends as well. Stand right next to Debug magazine. Dan and Nick over there, and also new editor Andrew, as well as Mark Jowett, who does Sega Mags and also writes for Debug and Pixel Addict. So yeah, it's just good to obviously see a load of other stallholders, friends, everything like that. Far too many people to start mentioning now, but yeah, trip over to Arcade Club as well on the Friday night. But yeah, anyway, just to the point. Came away with a few new magazines. Obviously, they help with research and stuff like that. A few things that I've picked up and added back to the collections. Some things that I've like owned back in the day, so I've seen some of these on Mark's stall and just gone, yep, need to reread that. Anyway, so first thing we're going to look at are a few Amiga Power, Amiga magazines. Sorry, I said Amiga Power because that's what I'm starting with. So I was given a few Amiga magazines, which is, we have issue 50 of Amiga Power here. I'm not going to go into them all in a lot of detail like I tried to do, because there's a lot of magazines here. Well, about 10, so too many for a 20-minute video. So with this one, jumps out, still got the cover discs attached to it as well, which is absolutely amazing. So this is like the 50 glorious years, issues, and you've got two discs on here: Obsession, Fears, Gravity Power, Frantic Freddy, and It's a Skull. So quite a few games on these two discs. How much was it back then as well? £4.25. It's still not too bad. This is June 1995, so it still had another 2 years, year and a half to go, something like that. 15 issues. So yeah, I think it was like late 96 when this actually ended. It's roughly around the time of the end of the Amiga commercial life. It's something that I've wrote about for Amiga Addict in the past. And then you've also got Commodore sold. Obviously I didn't really go to plan, but anyway, other than that, added a few more Amiga formats, always come in handy, especially like with things like research and just seeing what things were going on back in the day. And then what else have we got? Issue 31, Secrets Revealed, the experts show you how to make, how great games are made. So there's quite a lot of people interviewed here, from like Bullfrog. Who else have we got? Just while I quickly flick through. Writing 3D games the easy way. Looking at who else? The assembly line as well. So there's quite a lot. Yeah, so it's quite a good time really, because this is 1992, so obviously the Amiga's really taken off. The ST's on its descent downwards. So yeah, it was, I suppose, a good time to be an Amiga owner. Speaking of which, the issue before, so this was the January 1992 one, issue 30, £4, 308 pages, which is absolutely crazy. You probably can't really see that too much. Now, I know when I interviewed Marcus Dyson, ex-editor, and he worked on the magazine as the art department around here, around this time I should say. The amount of adverts in here, there are a lot, but there's still a lot of stuff as well. It's just crazy how much we actually fitted into these Christmas issues. What we've got: Microprose Golf as one of the big titles there at 90%, and we've done a nice little bit of holly there in the corners, showing it's a Christmas issue there, and past, presents and future. Something that I end up saying quite a lot. Well, past, present, and future. So yeah, absolutely tons in that. I've not had a chance to properly have a look through it because again, at the time I was an ST owner, so some of these quite early Amiga formats. I'd probably say anything pre 1993 I very rarely looked at. Anyway, the other magazines I'm going to look at is GB Action. Now, I've mentioned it in passing, I think. GB Action lasted for probably around 40 issues. It had a few different publishers. It started off as Europress, and it came out from the ashes of Games X magazine, magazine I absolutely loved. And then back in 1992, so yeah, so Games X finished around April 92. Then about a month or so later, GB Action was born. So the first one I picked up was this one, issue 6. So GB Action was like every month, 68 pages. Not bad at all, because they really managed to fit a lot of stuff in, you know, for Game Boy owners. And here you got Parasol Stars, Alien 3, Speedball 2, Lemmings, Star Wars. You know, like the Game Boy at the time, it was just an amazing machine, you know. But it was the last issue where it was priced at £1.80 because they were bringing it out at 99p. This was like Europress, more or less giving away magazines, because Mega Action, Super Action were another two for Mega Drive and Super Nintendo, which have that 99p price point, which you can't really go wrong with, and they kept that for quite some time. So, you know, we'd not 80 odd p off it. God knows how they did it and made any money, you know. And then we've also got this one, issue 10, Lethal Weapon on there. Never played the Game Boy version. Been playing the Amiga version quite a bit, and it's not a bad game at all. But you have a look. I'm just going to get onto the other issues that I've got on in a minute. But you have a look, and you've got things like the Game Boy Top 20, I think that says. Yeah, so top 20 games. You know, everything you expected in the Europress magazines at the time, because ST Action was still just about going. And obviously Amiga Action as well. Those two never went down to 99p, which is the console magazines. But then you got in, like, you know, letters, re-reviews, things like that, you know, where we're getting the readers to send in reviews, you know, things like your player's guides. You had everything. I mean, at the time, the only other handheld magazine that I can think of was Go, which came with CBG. And although that was all right, I do feel like these early GB Action are absolutely fantastic. You know, like, obviously to get screenshots back then would have been quite difficult as well. Populace there, 91%. Lethal Weapon, I don't think I'm missing too much. They're usually on the money with some of these reviews. 72% there. I think it's a 72, yeah. But again, top marks on most of the presentation. So it had some really good writers. Like I say, a lot of people went from, what's it called? From Games X onto that. Now, this one here was, actually I'll get to that in a minute. This is a bit later on, so this was towards the end of the Europress run. So this is December 94, issue 32. It may not have actually made it to issue 40. Maybe 38, 39, because I'm going to get to it in a minute. This is still 68 pages. It looks thicker because the paper quality is a lot poorer. Almost on newspaper-like quality, so we've got rid of the glossiness there. They still kept everything in there, you know. These Europress days, the staff had changed quite a few times. I interviewed Alex Lee, a former editor, for last issue of Pixel Addict, and you know, like, he seemed to be speaking fairly highly of his time on GB Action. So we've got Tarzan here, a game I've never ever played. By this point, I don't even think I owned my Game Boy. I think I got rid of it. You know, and then what else have we got? We've got Lemmings 2 The Tribes, 95%. So really good score there for Lemmings 2. But again, quality-wise, there was still plenty to read in this. And then you still got your maps and posters and things like that. Basically everything you expected in mags back then. Then lastly is this one by IDG Publishing. So this only had, I think, one issue under this because IDG bought out Europress. And again, more of the same, but we've got this, the next month back issue. So it's saying next month there's going to be a new issue, but it actually went to Maverick Magazines. Now, I've mentioned Maverick before, and Maverick Magazines had a habit of buying up some well-loved titles and forcing them to go on a diet, is a polite way of putting it, because it soon went down to 32 pages, mainly re-reviewed games, reprinted articles and stuff like that. And the price didn't drop. I mean, that's £1.95. I'm sure it got to about £2.50 for about 30 odd pages. So I've seen some scans online on Internet Archive, and it gets really, really thin. You know, it's just a shame. But those last issues are just absolutely, you know, like hen's teeth to find, you know, as that saying goes. Now, the other ones, what to go for? We'll choose this one. So we've got an American mag. I mentioned American magazines before. Not a massive fan of them, but I picked these two up because this was around the time that I used to buy it. So as I said before, I used to go into newsagents, buy any single magazine that I could, you know, using paper and money or jobs money, spending money, anything you could get, you know, selling bits, always magazines. What's changed? So we have got World Rush 2, and it's got the hologram on, which is quite funky. And first thing you notice with American magazines is how thick they are. GamePro and EGM appeared in shops fairly regularly, but where I was, over in Bolton. So this is just under 300 pages. And you've got, I don't know, I appreciate a few things in it, like this game over page. So this is something like that retro gamer do now, you know, showing you the end of a game. And then what have we got? Free Inside Sonic 2 comic book. I can't see that being in here at all. But one reason why I did pick this up is because I do like seeing some of the adverts. Some American adverts are awful. But sometimes, there's a poster in here for Trade West. It's hard to see that, but it's showing like Battletoads. Hang on, that way. Excellent. There we go. And then what else? There's tons of pictures. Always picture heavy. So we've got power moves. Absolutely loads of screenshots. Really shows off the game. What else? A few more adverts here. I'm not going to go too long. And then what else? We have got news on things like XJ220, which came out on the Mega CD, as well as Amiga. So yeah, that's so they're saying Sega CD. We have also got let's have a look, a few cheats here as well. So everything seems to just be such a weird order, you know, cheats, more adverts, things like that. So EGM exclusive Road Rash 2, and it is, you know, the best one of the series, easy. Absolutely loved that game. And then we've also got some adverts here for software, etc., which will have been an American store, not one that I've ever heard of myself. So again, a few deals there, a few sale titles. And then what else? $3 off Game Gear titles, Smash TV, Streets of Rage, Home Alone. Yeah, they really are seem to have having this massive sale. But this is the Christmas issue. Then what else have we got? Dungeons and Dragons Dragon Quest. So quite apt now that this is really popular again, isn't it? You know, like over HMV, we sell quite a lot of Dungeons and Dragons stuff. You know, when we get it in, it does sell fairly quickly. LGN games here, the good, the bad, the ugly. So we've got Terminator, Alien 3, and is that Alien vs Predator at the end? Oh, Predator 2. So yeah, quite a few well, not amazing games. I'm just trying to think. Alien 3 is great. Predator 2 is average. T2 arcade game, not amazing. So this is how they do their reviews. They give everything out of 10. You know, a little blurb about it. What are they called? Not Gamesville. Games World magazine did something similar when that launched in the UK. About what, 1994? You know, we did it for a few issues anyway before changing the style. But yeah, I'm not going to go on too much with this. Oh, we have got one big news story here. Sony to make CD-ROM with Nintendo. Imagine that, eh? It's still crazy when I look back at, you know, these issues back there. And then what else? Q&As from the Game Universe, international news, some news on Bubsy the Bobcat coming soon, more tips and cheats. There is a lot in it. There really, really is. Mega Play magazine. Their advertised must be the same publisher, you know. Again, we never got that over here at all. But then going to quickly just go on to a bit of a thinner issue here. So what's that? 220 odd pages. And it's another issue a few months later, February 1993, with Bubsy the Bobcat on. A game I really, really hate. But with Bubsy, it is... I can't believe I haven't seen it. I read yesterday, you know, Atari now own the rights and they want to bring Bubsy back. Obviously, there have been a few different Bubsy games over the years. Not a game I'm a fan of. Never, ever will be. I just think it's just awful, you know, like how it's put together. You know, it's so zoomed in that, you know, you're running across the screen and boom, straight into a bad guy, lose a life. And his catchphrases are quite annoying. So let's have a quick look at what we've got. An advert here for Sega Genesis. So this is Streets of Rage 2. Looking at that, absolutely fantastic. Still one of my favourite games. I just love that game. And then what else have we got? More offers for software, etc. I'm not going to go into all that again. We've got letters pages, pictures sent in, things like that. I mean, I don't know. I suppose obviously they're covering everything, you know, we covered in the UK mags. But I don't know, it just took quite a while, didn't it, really, to, I don't know, like gel with them. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, when I spoke to people in the past, people like Neil West, Gary Whitta, who went over to America and started working on, you know, American magazines, you know, thanks to Future, who were expanding. It sort of makes a bit more sense that, you know, they obviously saw what worked well in the UK games magazine industry and started getting some really good writers over there. I'm not saying that there were no good American writers. I'm not saying that at all, but I felt like, you know, then I suppose so you got a bit of sprinkling of, you know, some of the well-known UK writers, people like Neil West, etc. You know, he'd been doing it for years. And then what have we got here? We have got release dates. I'm just having a quick look. We have got some top 10s here as well. Keep an eye on the time so don't go too long on this. So top 10 Nintendo, Genesis, Street Fighter 2, of course, for Super Nintendo. But yeah, it is good to see the adverts. You know, there's a lot of them. But when I was a kid spending £4 on a magazine, well, £2.60, sorry, so £3 on a magazine, I could get Games Master or something like that, or Superplay for a little bit less money. And I know it didn't have as many pages, but the content-wise was still quite similar, you know, because of the not as many adverts in it. But, you know, you've got a massive breakdown, hang on, Utopia, and Splatterhouse. So yeah, so again, interesting to look back. I'm gonna have a proper read and to see if we can try and get a feel, you know, for these magazines. And there we go, just show it there. Bubsy, right near the back. This is what I mean. Why put your cover game so close to the back? Don't understand. But anyway, that's all from me. Flashback as well. So yeah, thanks for watching. We'll be back because I want to do a video on the latest Amiga Addict, Pixel Addict, and one-off Amstrad Addict. So yeah, I'll see you all soon. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.